Okay, sorry, I 2 minutes late, but I'm ready and my camera is working well.
Okay.
And another participant, it's laptop, and I'm joining. How is it going in Spain, Miguel? Long time no see you.
Yeah, a long time. Yeah, I went for holidays. Okay, we are in a hurry because I have
Okay,
another meeting in 30
got it.
minutes.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so
Could
uh,
you
I
you
would
wanna
like
share
to
screen?
share my screen. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
good. That's good. One,
D-
share.
And today we're
Uh,
going to discuss this to find ideas brainstorming session about our microservice architecture, and probably starting from the email small
yeah,
service, right?
that's right. Well,
Okay.
all that I need is to to commit the people to use this email service. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, why? Because it's a working in progress, and if it works, it
Mm-hmm.
may be very easy to use.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, the cons that people need to use the Rabbit communication,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
Rabbit broker, and send JSON messages to that Rabbit broker. Okay,
Okay.
that's all. And once you have sent a message to that broker, the email service consumes that message, that JSON
Mm-hmm.
message, and sends the email. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
okay. But the point is, everybody should use it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there is no reason to use the. For instance, if you are using, I don't know, WordPress for the website, for the blog page. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I know that WordPress has a send mail protocol service by
Mm-hmm.
itself, but that's not the target. That's not the point. Because if you're using the same email service, your document, your content model service, your software has it. You are not using microservices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the,
Okay.
the target is every email is sent from us, is sent through this email service. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's the big picture.
Yeah. In other words, in the future, every email which system generate or maybe confirm or whatever functionality we should
Just
send
sending.
through this
No,
message broker.
this is only for sending email.
Oh, only for sending. Okay.
Only for sending. Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
the microservice architecture has a terrible name for CQRS, responsibility
Mm-hmm.
separation or something
Yeah, yeah,
like.
yeah.
And the concept is, if you are doing one thing, you have one microservice for that thing. If you are sending email, you have a microservice for sending email. This
Mm-hmm.
is a tiny piece of software because sending email is very simple. It's very
Yeah.
tiny, but
Mm-hmm.
it belongs by its own. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
standalone. Okay,
Yeah.
for
Okay.
incoming messages from the outside,
Mm-hmm.
there will be another different service. Okay,
Okay.
that's the idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry for interruption. Let's go ahead of your sharing that our idea is to show how it's simple for the volunteers that they start join to understand how it works, right?
Yeah, yeah. The point is, don't do, if you are coding a part of the system, for instance, adding patients. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
every time
Yeah.
a new user or patient user is
Mm-hmm.
added, the welcome message is not sent by that piece of software.
Mm-hmm.
If you are coding the user part, the user service, you are coding just the user service.
Mm-hmm.
When you
Mm-hmm.
send an email, you don't send an email because
Mm-hmm.
this is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is new users. Okay?
Okay.
So you need to send an email. You don't send that email. You compose a very simple JSON or GraphQL message. In this case, it will be
Mm-hmm.
a JSON probably message with the body of the email,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
address to subject, body, HTML body, everything composed in that JSON, and you delegate that responsibility to my email service, and
Mm-hmm.
you forget it, and you forget it. You're
Mm-hmm.
you're done. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You enqueue that message in the Rabbit, the message broker. In this case, Rabbit MQ.
Mm-hmm.
And you forget it. It's a fire and forget, like the missiles in the
Yeah.
air fighters. Okay, fire and forget, point and
Yeah.
forget, fire and forget.
Send
Okay.
message through the JSON format to the message
Yeah.
broker, and after that,
No,
you will
you
not
don't send.
handle.
Yeah, the idea you enqueue a JSON message, a very simple JSON message,
Mm-hmm.
and there will be a contract. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is with contracts.
Contract. It's
Contract.
mean this from message from the event to message broker through the JSON. This
A
is a
contract.
contract.
A contract is a piece of documentation who
Mm-hmm.
describes perfectly how the message you are in.
Oh, it's like agreement between event
Yeah.
and message
Cool.
broker how
Great.
it will works, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure. I had another graph about that. 1 second. Probably this one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me zoom a bit. Okay. That's the idea. Okay. The idea is this blue box runs in the web server
Mm-hmm.
made in, I don't know, WordPress, for instance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A new user is added to the system. It's coded in WordPress or in any language.
Any front end framework
Any
doesn't
front end,
matter. Mm-hmm.
I don't care about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But when the user is created, there is a contract here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which says, well, whoa, 1 second. Too big. The
Uh-huh.
definition, in this case, it's a GraphQL, but that contract will say if you're going to send a GraphQL message or just a JSON message to the Rabbit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is the definition. Well, there is an Apollo server, and the
Mm-hmm.
message server consumes the message and sends the message, and everything is and sends the email. Sorry, and
Mm-hmm.
everything is with contract.
Okay, got it.
So if you're if you're proficient in Python and you want to code the subscription part,
Mm-hmm.
you write only the subscription part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In
Got it.
Python, you can
Mm-hmm.
have the user in PHP, the subscription in Python, the email
Mm-hmm.
service in Visual Basic, whatever. Okay, that's the
Mm-hmm.
idea.
Yeah.
And everybody is collaborating. Okay, it's consuming data from the queue and from the in this case the GraphQL, the Apollo server. Blah, blah. But I think first we have to start small and start using the Rabbit MQ.
Rabbit MQ. Okay. Okay.
That's the idea.
Cool. Miguel, any difficulties or maybe any possible questions which could come up for the volunteer, which you want to share right now, or which you struggling personally? That
yeah.
with all this approach. Yeah.
There are some points. First, we did obviously a RabbitMQ tiny server. Okay.
Mhm.
And we need to define the contracts and to publish the contracts,
Mhm.
because the developers need to know how to communicate to the RabbitMQ server. Yeah.
And we're talking about contract. It will be like set of rules, maybe a
Yeah.
set of
Well, yeah.
JSON rules, how
Yeah.
and what will should
Documentation,
transfer
API,
documentation,
basically it's an API documentation.
API documentation. Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. The idea is everyone who wants to collaborate with us
Mhm.
and write code, we don't care about the way they do their code. We don't
Mhm.
care. Okay. They only have to communicate by using these contracts to
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
other systems. Yeah. And
Okay.
when the system grows up and there are more and more and more petitions and more users and more data and data, we only need to clone the
Mhm.
microservices. For instance, the, our example, the mail service, email service sender, the sender. Let's suppose we need to send 1 billion emails by second.
Mhm.
Okay, we have one queue in the Rabbit with tiny JSON messages falling down from the queue, but
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
queue. Yeah, you only need more to clone and to deploy 100 times the same email service. The
Mhm.
same, just the same. Blah 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 blah. It connects and sends, and
Mhm.
every time a microservice, an email service consumes a message, it sends the message, and it
Mhm.
will return to another queue an okay or error response.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like a it's raining messages. It's like a falling
Yeah. Yeah.
rain.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of message. It's mess of the
Yeah.
messages.
It it yeah it can, but it can grow uh, through the infinite.
Mhm.
You you don't have a monolith where you have only, you can grow vertically or horizontally. You can, here you can grow in three dimensions.
Mhm.
Vertically, by more hardware. Horizontally, um, splitting more microservices,
Mhm.
and in depth by cloning all those microservices. You have the three dimensions to grow up.
In other words, we have three opportunities how to improve. For example, if we will have problem with the loading or whatever. First of all, uh, straightforward to put more hardware and to use, I don't know, more better quality of hardware and to talk with the provider of the infrastructure.
Yeah,
Secondary, this is to
split.
split
Yeah,
all processes for small services and find
split,
the
split,
bottleneck and to split
split.
it,
1 second. Split the responsibility.
split the responsibility. Mhm.
Yeah, because for instance, when you are logging a new user, you see, wow, yeah, this is stupid logging process.
Mhm.
No, you can split that process in more microservices,
Mhm.
because shit happens. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you are logging, you are checking the, for instance, in the logging process, check the email is valid. This could be a microservice by itself. Yeah?
Mhm.
Not in
Mhm.
in a first stage, but in the future, if there are 1,000 people registering and logging,
Mhm.
the process which checks the email could be a special, a different microservice.
Mhm.
Check,
And the third,
yeah,
yeah, and the third one, when we will, for example, if we will have different regions and we will make a copy of the microservice in different regions, one for the Europe, one for the Asia, for the Africa, for the North America, South
wow.
America, and
Yeah,
this will help to grow and to decrease overloading of
completely,
the server. Mhm. Got
completely.
it. Yeah. And anything else which you want to put for the future involvement of volunteers, which could be helpful in terms of using this
Yeah,
approach?
that's the point of that recording.
Yeah.
I want to show the people that this is a funnier way to coding
Mm-hmm.
because everyone can collaborate. You don't need to get stuck to a framework or to a language, because
Mm-hmm.
if you're proficient in Java, you can do your part in Java. Yeah. It can scale up and grow up as much as money you
Mm-hmm.
have to pay to Amazon or
Yeah,
Microsoft
yeah.
Azure. Okay. And this is a challenge because the monolith is well known by everybody. And it's a boring technology. Well, no, that's kidding. It's not good
Yeah.
for one more thing. Have you ever thought about the health data, incoming data uh, process? It can uh, uh, process billion of data per second, because if you have 1,000 users, 1,000 patients, and they are
Mm-hmm.
sending very often the data,
Mm-hmm.
is very big. If you use a monolith for all data, the timeout can happen.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Well, maybe we're not with 1,000
It depends.
people, but
Yeah, it depends on the first of all amount of the users and amount of the messages. And if we multiply these two numbers,
yeah,
and they will be, I don't know, more than 1 million,
yeah,
sure we will have some
you
kind of
you have
timeout
you
and
have
yeah.
3,000 users, and they are connecting their smart watches to the
Yeah, yeah,
application and sending data every 10 minutes. This is
yeah.
huge. This is a
This
lot
will
of
be.
data, and you need to spread the process, to share the process among a lot of microservices. So that's my concern about the system.
Yeah.
It's not the email sender service. It's just the testing mule, because it's not a critical system. Well,
hmm
it's not a critical system as critical as much as the login system or the payment system. Okay,
hmm
but it's important. But it's our test meal. Yeah,
hmm
I'm sure, and I think that it should be the first ones to be a complete a real microservice running with the consuming data from the queue and blah 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 and so on. Yeah.
Okay. Miguel, thank you so much for this explanation and for this first step in
Thank you.
terms of involving our volunteers to the microservice architecture. I'm sure that it's very interesting approach for the email service. It's very easy to understand because everyone use in their real life email notification from when they register in the some product or buy something. They get this email on their mail, and I'm sure that we will start using this. and secondary, your idea that from to work with the messages and to programming messages for the brokers and work with this instead of using direct I don't know, direct functions of the email service. The second point and third, it's a huge opportunities in terms of how to improve loading, 3 dimensions of the improving loading in whatever which works for a particular moment. I mean, if we will need to change provider or increase infrastructure, or probably we will need to split responsibility, or maybe, I don't know, to copy and paste microservice. Either way will work to improve loading on the server. And it's great that this is a like in native of the system. And this is in the box of the system that we have these 3 opportunity and different vectors how we can improve. And I believe that this will be very interesting, and I encourage volunteers who will see this video, put your comments or maybe send direct message to Miguel. We have chat for the architecture. Join to this chat and put your thoughts. And probably if you will have some experiments and try to struggle with something, I'm sure that if you will put this information to this chat, this will be very helpful for everyone to, and for sure we will try to help you too.
We need Q&A. Yeah.
We
need Q&A. That's the way to progress. Yeah. Q&A, a lot of Q&A. I have a lot of doubts about the system, because I am a human. Q&A is the way.
Is the way.
But
definitely.
It looks shining. It's a lot of systems collaborating. That's beautiful.
Exactly. Okay.
Orchestration is a point, very interesting point. Orchestration, for instance, if a microservice is sending a lot of messages and the system is about to explode, there must be a orchestrator, Q&A, for instance, which clones that microservice and start a new one. That's another conversation we need to have.
One more interesting task that how to prepare this separate service which will orchestrate for other microservices. Very interesting. We are living in century of the technology, and when technology is real, and it's only up to us how to implement them.
It's like starting to learn coding again. For me, it's I'm feeling like a child starting to know how to make a machine works. It's beautiful.
And you know, it's one of the approach in history, when the history is the circles and the next circles and next circles, and
probably
it seems the same, but it's this next circle of the evolution.
But 10 years ago, we didn't have that thing we hate. We didn't have Docker, we didn't have Kubernetes, we didn't have the cloud, and that just a simple idea of sharing services between them, that was crazy. But that's the way to go, because the best point, the point that is everyone can do a tiny part and collaborate with us. You don't need to know Symfony, for instance. You don't need to know WordPress if the front end is WordPress. I don't know, the front end technology is built in. I can coding blah blah blah. Okay, I will do that, and my microservice is very tiny. One more thing, if you are the cost of the system, if you need more power, in a part of the system, you can move more money to that part of the system. For instance, imagine that you are receiving a lot of new users, so you clone and deploy more new user microservices. Okay, so you put your money in that part of the monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for instance, if well, there is a hardware shop here in Spain. They serve in the Black Friday, because in Spain we to celebrate the Black Friday. They serve 80 million petitions by second. Yeah.
Oh, in other words,
They're using that.
one of the flexibility of the system, that if you will
Yeah.
have some kind of short demand on some kind of service, you will shortly to put resources, financial resources,
Yeah,
to this to handle this short demand.
You got it. Yeah, that's the point.
Okay, and I'm going to finish our conversation, and I'm curious about opinion of our other volunteers, and probably some of our volunteers started experiments with this, and feel free to share your questions directly to the Miguel or to the chat for everyone. And I'm curious about next conversation about microservice architecture. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. See you.
Yeah. See you.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.